Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make stewed beef and gravy. Now there's three ways to prepare this. You can put it in a crock pot, which would be the best and the fastest and the easiest way for somebody like me who doesn't like to cook. You can cook it on top of the stove, which will not work for me because you kind of have to bathe it. I'm going to put it in the oven. Number one, my crock pot is packed away and it's too hard to find. Number two, I can put this in the oven on low and walk away. This takes about 1 to 2.5 hours. And there's a trick to this. If you cook it too high and too fast, beef stew meat will be tough. So let me show you the ingredients. This is not quite a pound. This is just for myself. I've got the traditional Lipton onion beefy soup mix. I've got beef broth with 50% less sodium. I'm going to use some Worcestershire sauce, the last of my organic, already pre-cut garlic. I'm going to saute them in olive oil, a little bit of cornstarch for thickening, and I'm going to put this over wide butter noodles. Now, the secret is, if you want to cook these, the crock pot is best because they need to go low and slow. If you cook them too fast, they'll be tough. If you cook them on too high of a temperature, they'll be tough. So I'm going to get everything set up, and I apologize. I seasoned my meat last night, and those that know me, welcome back. I'm Jennifer. I upload 2 videos a week with inspirational quotes and controversial jokes, and I always season my meat 12 to 24 hours ahead of time. I forgot to show you guys that, so it's all set. So I'm going to get my skillet on, and I'm just going to brown the meat, and then we'll get cooking. Let me put you on pause. I'll be right back. Okay everyone, I have my eye on. I went ahead off camera. I apologize. I put a little bit of cornstarch in the bag. And while I'm doing that is hopefully I won't have to add a slurry. Now like I said, you can dump all this into a crock pot or into a pan or in the skillet here and add all the ingredients. Cover it, cook it for 1.5 to 2 hours. But you get the most flavor if you sear the meat ahead of time. So you definitely don't want to crowd the pan. So if you have to do this in batches, I would definitely recommend just, if you're cooking this for a large family, this is just for myself. If you have to do 3, 4, or 5 batches of cooking this meat separately, I would. Because like I said, it will get tough. That's the secret of making this recipe, stewed beef. You have to know that if you cook it high and fast, it will be tough. So you have to go really, really slow in the oven or in the crock pot. That's why the crock pot is the best, because you can let it sit for 2, 3 hours on low, or 4 to 6 on low, and 2 to 3 on high. And this is where you get your flavor of caramelizing your meat. And since I'm doing the crock pot, I'm going to put this in the oven. I need to do the extra step because I need all the flavor I can get out of this. So I'm just searing these, making sure they're seared on all sides. To get some color on this, like I said, that's the flavor. And normally if you were cooking these, you would cook it in this pan. You would use the same pan you're using, add all the ingredients I showed you, and then put it on low and put the lid on it and let it go for about 1.5 to 2 hours. But you guys that know me know I have an electric stove, and it's really hard to maintain a low temperature. And as I stated, the secret to this, if you cook these on high and cook them too fast, they will be tough. There's no way to get around that. So this is a meat that's a low and slow type of meat. So as you see, I'm just browning these, getting them nice and brown. So I'm going to put you guys on pause and get the second batch in, and then we'll get ready to put these in the oven. So I am going to do them in the oven. Like I said, to take my crock pot out, it's too much work to move too many things to get it. So I'll be right back. Okay everyone, I got the second batch in, and as I stated, it's real important. If you have to do 10 batches, depending on how much meat you're searing, this is where you get your flavor. This is the secret to make yours taste a little better than someone else's, instead of just throwing it all in the crock pot raw. It is an extra step, but it's one that I definitely wouldn't want to leave out. Because you guys know I love flavor. That's the main thing of my cooking. So I'm going to put you guys on pause, turn the camera around, and get this set up to put in the oven. And like I said, at this point, this is where you go to the crock pot, or if you were using the same pot like I should have been using if I wasn't so lazy and had the correct type of stove that would make it easy for me, I would use I'd use a Dutch oven and put all the juices and seasoning and the broth in that and put a lid on it and walk away. But like I said, my stove is electric and I just don't trust that. So let me turn the camera around and then show you how I do the rest of it. So guys, I wanted to show you, I put some garlic in the pan with the rest of the remaining oil just to cook it just a little bit before I add it to the pan to put in the oven. I wanted to show you that. So let me turn the camera around, I'll be right back. Okay everyone, this is the pan I've chosen, and the reason is because it's narrow at the bottom and I don't have a lot of meat. So I didn't want a long tray because I have to fill this up with a lot of broth in order for this to basically cook or braise. So you see it's not a whole lot of meat. And then the garlic that I sauteed briefly for just a couple seconds in the remaining olive oil. I'm going to put that in there. This is flavor. And this is really simple. Like I said, it's fast throw together because it's basically a crock pot recipe that you would set it and walk away. So I'm going to use one package of Lipton soup mix. If I can get it open. Let me put you guys on pause. You know I never get stuff set up, and now I can't get the pack open. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got one packet of Lipton onion soup mix. I'm going to use most of it because normally this recipe is for about a pound or a pound and a half of stew beef. I'm going to use a couple dashes of Worcestershire. I love Worcestershire. If you don't like it, you can leave it out. And then I've got beef broth, and I went with the low sodium because that way you can control the salt. And I'm making sure this is covered. I'll show you. I have my oven preset to 300 degrees. I'm going to go 300 degrees for 30 minutes, and I'm going to cut it down to 250 for an hour and a half. So it looks like it's taking most of it, which is going to hurt it. Okay. Now you can see that is submerged. Quite a bit of juice in there, or I should say a broth. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up with foil, put this in the oven, and let this go. Like I said, I want to go 30 minutes at 300 degrees, and I'm gonna cut it down to 250 and go an hour and a half. So I'll meet you guys back in an hour and a half. Okay everyone, I have it in the oven. It is at 300 degrees. You see I have it totally covered. I'm gonna go 300 degrees for 30 minutes and then cut it down. And remember, that's the secret. If you cook this too high, or if you're cooking it on top of the stove and it's boiling, you are gonna have tough meat, and there's no way to get around that. And if you cook it in the crock pot and you cook it too high and too fast, it will be tough. So like I said, on the stove, if you have a gas stove, excellent. Put it on the lowest burn possible. You can cover it and walk away. And if you notice that it's going too fast, you can crack the lid or add more broth. I'm gonna put you guys on pause. We'll come back in an hour and a half and see how tender this is. Okay everyone, it's been an hour and a half, and I changed my mind. I decided to add some mushrooms. So I have a can of mushrooms. I forgot my husband will not be eating this at all. So I decided to grab a can of mushrooms and put them in here. And let's check it and see just if it's tender at all. Let's see. Nope, still kind of tough. So I'm gonna put it back in the oven for another 30 minutes. We're still on 250, so like I said, this is low and slow. This could go 3 hours, but let's hope not. So I'll come back and tell you guys my joke, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Got plenty more recipes and more giveaways coming in the future, so I'll see you guys back in about another 45 minutes to an hour. Okay everyone, there it is. It cooked for 2.5 hours. And you see it is really, it looks good and it's tender. You can basically break this apart with a spoon. So I've got my pasta all ready. I'm going to put this together and turn the camera around and tell you guys my joke. Okay guys, there you have it. Normally I would eat this with rice. I'm going to be honest, I'm a rice eating person. Or mashed potatoes, but I decided to do something different this time and put it over noodles. So let me tell you my joke, little Johnny joke, terrible. Anyway, classroom math class, 7-year-olds. The teacher says to Mary, I want you to tell me what comes after 18. She said, 19. She said, good job. So then she looks at Mark. She said, Mark, what comes after 57? He said, 58. She said, good job. She says, okay, little Johnny, what comes after 69? He said, mouthwash. Yeah, yep, no good. Anyway, thanks for watching. God bless. Please come back for the next one and have a good evening.